With more than 58 million ballots already cast in early voting, you'd expect the dust to begin settling. Not so in an election with high stakes, even prospects, and all to play for. It started when Republican nominee and former President Donald Trump was campaigning on the question of immigration last week in the swing state of Arizona, and began referring to the United States as a dumping ground for illegal immigrants, using choice words that have now taken on a life of their own. Watch.
We're a dumping ground. We're like a garbage can for the world. That's what's happened. That's what's happened to we're like a garbage can.
And if America were a garbage can, that would mean that people who live here are, well, you know, the stuff that gives garbage cans real purpose, as his opponent immediately pointed out.
It's just another example of how he really belittles our country. This is someone who is a former president of the United States, who has a bully pulpit. And this is how he uses it to tell the rest of the world that somehow the United States of America is trash. And I think, again, the President of the United States should be someone who elevates discourse and talks about the best of who we are and invests in the best of who we are.
Wild times.
Take this comedian speaking at Trump's fiery rally in New York City on Sunday that gave the word garbage an additional lease on life.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay, all right.
A joke that did not land all that well, given that almost 6 million Puerto Ricans who are American citizens actually live and vote in the U.S. mainland, and in key swing states where the margin for victory is expected to be very tight. Enter President Joe Biden, seeking to defend Puerto Rican Americans and denounce the hateful rhetoric emanating from that Trump rally.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
Sounded like Biden was referring to all of Trump's supporters, but the White House immediately clarified that the president was referring only to the comedian. Supporters, with an apostrophe S, which means singular supporter. A nuance likely lost on most, but fodder for the news hounds who pressed the White House.
He was not calling Trump supporters garbage, which is why he this is why he wanted to make sure that we put out a statement that clarified what he meant and what he was trying to say. And so just want to make that very clear for folks who are watching. And I just want to read that out to folks. So he was regarding to the comedian, and I quote, "I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable."
But the horse had already bolted, and the Trump campaign wasted no time in using Biden's words as a broad insult against anyone who decides to support his campaign. Trump on Wednesday dressing like a sanitation worker and doing a press conference from a garbage truck.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden. I just wanted to let you know that 250 million people, that's what I think the real number is for making America great again. 250 million, the real number. They don't think in terms of garbage, okay? They don't use terms like that, and it's a shame. And Joe Biden should be ashamed of himself if he knows what he's even doing.
Harris asked to weigh in on Biden's latest gaffe.
He clarified his comments, but let me be clear, I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans.
Running in 2016, Hillary Clinton infamously referred to half of Trump's supporters as a basket of deplorables, in reference to what she viewed as racist, Islamophobic and xenophobic rhetoric emanating from his base, later expressing regret. Clinton eventually lost that race to Trump. The question now is which side of the political divide can make garbage stick and help them win this tight race. But that's probably too much trash talk for one day. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.